For years, Charlie Woods has lived in the strangest place in golf. Close enough to greatness to feel it every day, but still far enough away that every mistake gets magnified. Every swing gets judged. Every round gets compared to a name that barely any player in history could ever live up to. And that's exactly why what just happened matters so much. Because this wasn't just another junior tournament update. It wasn't just another social media clip. Charlie made a decision that could shape the entire next chapter of his life in golf. A decision that tells us how he sees his future, how he wants to grow, and maybe most importantly, who he wants to become. And when you look at everything he's already gone through, the pressure, the flashes of talent, the setbacks, the expectations, this moment starts to feel a lot bigger than people realize. This might not be the loudest moment of Charlie Woods' career so far, but could end up being the one that changes everything. And before we go any further, if you truly love golf, if this game means something to you, and if you enjoy stories like this that go deeper than just scores and headlines, subscribe and become part of this golf family. Because golf is more than trophies. It's pressure, growth, heartbreak, patience, and moments like this. Now on the surface, Charlie's decision seems simple. He committed to Florida State. That's the headline. That's the news. But if you're a real golf fan, you know the headline is never the whole story. Because this decision is not just about choosing a school. It's about choosing a path. And that matters, because Charlie Woods has had every reason in the world to rush. Rush into the spotlight. Rush into bigger expectations. Rush into proving to people that he's not just Tiger's son. The cameras have followed him for years. The clips go viral instantly. A single good round gets people saying he's next. A single bad round gets people saying he's overhyped. That's not a normal junior golf life. That's a microscope. So when a player like Charlie chooses the college route, chooses structure, chooses development, chooses time, that says something powerful. It says he's not trying to win the internet. He's trying to build a game. But here's the part nobody talks about. Making a patient decision in today's golf world might actually be the boldest move of all. Because patience doesn't trend. Patience doesn't go viral. Patience doesn't create instant headlines. But patience is how real players are built. And if you followed Charlie closely, you know why that matters. This has not been some perfect, protected rise where everything goes right. There have been moments that reminded everyone just how hard golf really is. He missed the cut at the U.S. Junior Amateur in 2025. He had rough finishes in major junior events. He's had tournaments where the scorecard looked nothing like the hype around his name. And honestly, that may be the best thing that could have happened to him. Because nothing strips away fantasy like golf. Golf does not care about your last name. It does not care how famous your father is. It does not care how many people are filming your warm-up. It asks the same brutal question every single time. Can you do it now, under pressure, over and over again? Charlie has had to answer that question in public. And this is where everything changed. Because somewhere along the way, this stopped being a cute story about Tiger Woods' son hitting big shots with his dad. It became a real player development story. A real test. A real journey. And the truth is, once that happens, the smartest thing a young golfer can do is stop performing for the moment and start preparing for the future. That's why this decision feels bigger than people think. Florida State is not some symbolic stop. It's a serious golf program, a competitive environment, a place where reputation won't save you. You still have to earn your spot. You still have to post scores. You still have to develop under coaches, teammates, travel, pressure, and expectation. In other words, Charlie didn't choose the easy story. He chose the hard road that could actually make him better. Wait till you hear what happened next in the bigger picture. Because if all you know about Charlie Woods are the viral clips, then you're missing the most important part of the story. Yes, there have been struggles, but there have also been signs. Real signs. The kind that make golf fans pay attention. He won the Team TaylorMade Invitational in 2025. That mattered. Not because one junior win suddenly means superstardom. It doesn't. But because it proves something essential. It proved he can put together real tournament golf against strong competition. It proved there's substance behind the attention. It proved that when the pieces come together, there's a player here. A real one. And those moments are everything for a young golfer. Because confidence in golf is fragile. It doesn't come from people telling you that you're talented. It comes from seeing your name on a leaderboard and knowing you earned it. It comes from bouncing back after a rough stretch. It comes from finding out that your best golf is not imaginary. Charlie has already had that taste. And maybe that's exactly why this commitment means so much. Because now the dream becomes less abstract, less about legacy, less about fantasy, more about work, more about 6 a.m. practice rounds, more about team qualifying, more about swing changes, more about travel weeks when nobody cares who your dad is, more about standing on your own score. And if you love golf, that should excite you. Because this is the version of the story that's real, not the lazy version. Not, is he the next Tiger? That question is unfair, impossible, and honestly boring. Nobody is the next Tiger. There will only ever be one. The more interesting question is this: can Charlie Woods become the first Charlie Woods? That's the question this decision starts to answer. But here's where the emotion kicks in. Imagine growing up with the most famous last name in modern golf. Imagine every little success getting over-celebrated and every failure getting picked apart. Imagine trying to become your own player while the entire world keeps handing you a comparison you never asked for. That's a heavy thing for any teenager. And whether people admit it or not, a lot of young players would crumble under that weight. Charlie hasn't. He's kept showing up. That matters. He kept showing up after bad rounds. He kept showing up after missed cuts. He kept showing up after the noise. He kept showing up when it would have been easier to hide behind the family name, enjoy the spotlight, and let everyone else do the talking. That's why this feels different. This commitment feels like a player taking ownership, not a brand, of a path. And this is where golf fans should really lean in. Because sometimes the biggest turning points don't look dramatic in the moment. They don't come with tears on the 18th green or a trophy held over your head. Sometimes they look like a quiet choice, a school, a direction, a decision that says, I'm not skipping steps. I'm not asking for shortcuts. I'm willing to be developed. That is powerful. And maybe, just maybe, that's what people have been waiting to see from Charlie Woods. Not perfection, not destiny, not proof that he's a future major champion. Just maturity, just ownership, just a sign that he understands what this game requires and is willing to pay that price. Because the truth is, golf humbles everybody, even legends, especially the children of legends. So if Charlie is choosing the route of patience, team competition, accountability, and growth, then yes, this could change everything. Not because it guarantees success, but because it gives success a real foundation. And that's the difference. Hype wants arrival. Golf demands becoming. And Charlie Woods, for the first time in a way that feels truly his, may have just chosen becoming. That's why this story matters. Not because we know exactly how it ends. We don't. That's what makes it compelling. He could thrive. He could struggle. He could surprise everyone. He could need more time than people expect. That's golf. That's life. But now there's a direction. Now there's a statement. Now there's a choice that says this journey is real. And as golf fans, we should appreciate that. Because we all say we love the grind, the tradition, the earning of it. Well, this is what it looks like. This is a young golfer choosing the long road instead of the loud one. And in a world addicted to instant results, that might be the most impressive decision of all. This is why stories like this matter. They remind us that golf is not just about greatness at the end. It's about the courage to keep building before the world has proof. Charlie Woods may always be connected to one of the biggest names the game has ever seen. But this decision feels like a step towards something personal, something earned, something that belongs to him. So now I want to ask you, do you think this is the right move for Charlie Woods? And can the college path help him truly step out of Tiger's shadow? Drop your thoughts in the comments, stay with the channel, and if you love golf stories with heart, pressure, and meaning, make sure you subscribe.